I wish that somebody would just say it's a GIF, so I don't have to say GIF or GIF every time I say it.
It's GIF. It's pronounced
right.
GIF.
It's definitely GIF, but I'm not going to be the person that calls it GIF.
It is pronounced GIF because
It is
the people
not
who
peanut
made
butter.
the people who made the format said it's pronounced GIF. If you name something, you get to decide how it's pronounced.
While I agree with that,
I disagree with it this one time because I don't like calling it GIF.
I reject your reality and
Exactly.
substitute my own.
hello everyone. It's a very sad day here. I don't know if some of you saw the tweet that we missed the podcast a couple weeks ago because Snow was on a cruise, but while he was on that cruise, he fell overboard and drowned. And I couldn't do that. I could not do that without laughing. April Fools, everybody!
Oh, man. Yeah, April Fools. I didn't even think about that. Oh, goodness gracious. Now, Snow's not going to talk at all to perpetuate the illusion, but he's on the call. He is here.
It's fine with me.
He will speak at some point.
I'm sure we can entice him into speaking by saying something that, like, makes him absolutely furious.
I figured we could entice him into talking by saying, you can email the podcast at demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Did you just drive in on a race car?
I did. I was late for the podcast today, and that was more of a Jetsons, dude.
Yeah, that's like a single engine prop plane. that noise.
I did not fall overboard. You know what the code is that they yell over the intercom if somebody falls overboard?
Man overboard?
No, actually, you'd think, right? No, not as descriptive. They say Oscar, Oscar, Oscar.
Nice.
Yeah, and then they say which side that the Oscar happened.
Is that like a Russian cruise?
Well, normally the captains are not American. This captain was pretty American, but I guess I don't know who was talking over the PA. He must have been Russian or something, but that's how he said Oscar.
That was like Scottish Russian.
Oscar.
Nice.
Good old Scrussians.
Well, you can also tweet us if you want. Just throwing that out there.
Indeed. That's at demguyspodcast.
At DEMGYSPODCAST.
And time for the real introduction. Welcome, everybody. I am Drusen.
I am Slash.
And I am SnoShoe.
Indeed he is.
And we are Dem Guys. Oh, I thought we were going to do it all at once.
Nope. Absolutely not.
Great. Okay. Well, yeah, it's been almost a month since the last podcast.
And guess what?
What?
April Fools. I don't know how...
It
It hasn't really been a month. You just haven't listened.
We put out a secret podcast 2 weeks ago.
We did.
I should totally number this one, skipping a number. Just
It's actually what
you
you're
have to be part of our
listening to.
secret club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
recorded
that'd be
this
fun.
podcast over the last one, so it'd be super secret.
Over top of it. Because
Yeah.
we record onto tape.
That's we do. We just rewound it and hit record again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, like I said, Snow was on a cruise. How was that, Snow?
It was great. No Oscars, no other issues. But yeah, it was pretty cool. We went mostly because one of my sister's best friends is an ice skater on the cruise ship. So we got like kind of backstage access to some of that stuff. It was really cool.
Awesome.
And I did not get sunburned until I got back.
You were just like so proud of that you're like, I don't need to wear sunscreen anymore.
I think that's what happened. Actually, I got stuck. It was like a hostage situation. It was yesterday, and I was out at this park thing, and we were only going to be there for like 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden 10 minutes turned into like 3 hours, and I was like, well, what do I do? This is like somebody holding me hostage trying to make me get a sunburn. That would be the worst. Okay, sorry. You know, like, if you're trying to torture somebody, a really white person, just like strap them down in the front yard and make them lay outside with their shirt off until they get a sunburn.
There you go. I'll talk!
If you're trying to torture a really white person, just take their cell phone away. Well, another reason, because it's not just Snow's fault that we're late, another reason is my laptop kind of failed. My hard drive stopped working and I don't really have the money or means to get a new computer right now, and I'd still need to look into possibly just getting a new hard drive. I don't know.
So he is joining us via cell phone today.
No.
Could you do that? You could probably do that.
I could. I don't know how good well, I wouldn't be able to record myself.
That's true.
And I don't know how good the quality would be.
I'm sure it'll be great. When has Skype quality ever been poor?
Certainly not in prep for this podcast, that's for sure.
Absolutely not.
The cell phone would have been better at that point.
Yeah, probably. CB radio, I think, would have worked pretty well also.
You'd have to use a call sign is the only problem, but we can just call you Oscar.
So, one of the hardest things for me of not having a computer was I had to stop playing GeoGuessr.
Like, I haven't even taken a look at that. It's been a month since the last podcast, and I haven't even gotten around to looking at that.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can access most of the other things on my phone and do most of the other things. Basically, I can't multitask, which I usually do. So, like, I can't have a YouTube video playing to one side and be working on something else. And then I can't watch Hulu because I don't have Hulu Plus. And then, but the main thing is GeoGuessr. That was the hardest thing for me. Because it's just on the phone screen, like, it is possible, but it's very hard. So
I guess I can kind of relate to that, because on my cruise, we had no internet, no cell phone, no anything. That was really hard. Like, when you're sitting in your little cabin, they have a TV, and it was during March Madness, the first two games, and I couldn't get any of the darn scores anywhere, because the bottom line wasn't working on ESPN, and so all I could see is the game I was watching. So I had no idea what was going on until, like, that night. But on top of that, not being able to watch videos or do anything, I don't know, it's like, sometimes I like those things. Like, I don't have to take a vacation from entertainment.
yeah.
Speaking of taking a vacation from entertainment, we just had a really brief vacation from any form of entertainment for you guys.
Yeah. Which hopefully Slash is going to edit out.
Yeah, well, that'll almost edit itself out.
Yeah.
Truncate silence.
So yeah, I don't know how to transition into this. But we had a very interesting event happen where I live.
You always title these things so ambiguously. Just for the listeners here, this says Drew : police action.
Yes.
Please proceed. I'm curious, but I just wanted the listenership to have that
Okay.
rock to stand on.
So just for a little bit of background, on Mondays I normally go over to my church, which is in the same town as where I live, and we record the services, and I go over and edit and upload them. And so it was around noon, and I was getting ready to go do that, and we got a call to our house, and it was a recorded message, and it was from the, like, county official people, and they said, residents of insert town here,
Gotham.
Please stay, or due to police action, like, police are requesting that all citizens stay in shelter, is what they said.
Wow.
And we're like, what the heck is going on?
I know exactly what this is.
I would like to hear your guess, because
Okay.
I don't know that you do.
100%. The police decided they were going to have a cross-town drag race between all of them. And the only way they could possibly do it is if they warned everybody to get in their hidey holes.
Wow.
Oh.
So
Yes,
if anybody gets hit by a police car, we say, we called you and told you police action was happening. That has to be what... Please proceed. That has to be what it is, though. I'm
That's
right.
gotta be it, yeah.
So, we made some phone calls because we're like, we have no idea what's going on. So we called some other people who live around the area, like who go to our church, to see if they had heard anything. We found out, that there was a giant convergence of police actually at our church. And, like, there were SWAT vehicles and stuff like that. and apparently some guy right like just a block away from our church had barricaded himself in his house with a gun and a bunch of ammunition, and like I guess there was kind of a manhunt leading up to this the night before, and they found out where he was. And since my church was right there, they were using the parking lot as a command center.
What?
And,
that's so cool. I mean, like, it's bad that the guy was possibly in danger, but that's so awesome.
yeah.
Did you get to hear any cool, like, commands, or, like...
Well, I didn't go over there.
Did you, like... You didn't even peek out the window or anything?
My church is not across the street from my house.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's not that far away, but it's not that close either. But yeah, so I was just really glad that I hadn't gone earlier in the day and was like working over there, and because if all those police vehicles just like started pulling up outside, I would have been so scared. 'Cause I would have been like, I don't know, should I stay inside? Should I go out and see what's going on? Like,
I would have gotten to where I could listen and see, but hopefully been safe. I don't know. Like, I love watching those things. Like when they have hostage situations on CNN or whatever. Obviously, I hate that somebody's in danger, and I hate that something bad could possibly happen. But that's so entertaining to me. I don't know why.
It was definitely interesting to hear about. One little funny story. Someone we know was actually in the bank in our town, and the police came in and told everybody in the bank to like take cover in there or whatever. And the person we know that was in there said, "No, I have to leave. I have ice cream. It's sitting in my car."
Hang on, sir. More important things to attend to right now. There is ice cream in my car, and I'll have you know.
So,
That's
yeah,
pretty insane.
it was a very exciting day, and yeah, so I didn't end up even getting to go over to my church till the next day to work on stuff, so that came out late. But I'm sure everyone understands.
Yeah.
And I guess for clarity, the guy did end up surrendering and nobody got hurt. So that's
See,
good.
great.
Yeah,
That's
good.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was kind of like, since when does this happen in our little town? They had like police coming in from other nearby towns too to help support it. Like,
Jeez.
there were a lot of cops.
Speaking of possible hostage situations, Nintendo is withholding hostage Zelda for Wii U.
They're withholding hostage?
Yeah, I didn't want to say they're holding hostage. I want to say they're withholding the game, but withholding hostage just kind of fell together.
Okay.
They are holding Zelda for Wii U hostage from us until at least 2016, when they'd previously announced, I believe they announced Q4 2015. So it's not a huge deal, but I don't know, I was looking forward to it, and I guess we've had so many of these type of games get rushed. I'm sad, but I'm kind of on the fence about it.
See, my thing about what you're saying there is like games get rushed and then they push them back because they want to work on it longer, and that seems like a good thing. While I do agree that does seem like a good thing, Watch Dogs was pushed back twice because that's what they claimed was there are too many games coming out unfinished and we want like a good product. And then Watch Dogs was absolutely terrible. So,
but I mean, yes, I agree with you, but Nintendo's track record speaks for itself.
right.
Especially with these with its signature games like Zelda.
I'm not saying it's always going to be a bad thing. I'm just saying that it doesn't always mean the game's gonna be better because of it.
It's true, but I don't know. You know, they showed the review, or not the review. They showed the teaser trailer or whatever, and they had the developers talking about it. It looked so cool, and it looked like a lot of it was already done, and I kind of thought they were going to be able to make it, but I guess not. But they said they're not even going to show off anything at E3 this year. Also.
Didn't they not show anything at E3 last year either?
I don't know. I thought that was when the video I'm talking about came out. Or maybe that was I think that actually was a different event now that I think about it.
It was either they didn't show off anything or they didn't have like a big presentation.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know, but in the I think it kind of parallels, you know, we always end up talking about Minecraft eventually. Minecraft is doing a very similar thing right now with these with the snapshots, we haven't gotten even a sniff of any new updates to the game at all. Except, let's see, I think Dinnerbone tweeted out some images that showed that he is somehow working on the dragon fight, which could be cool, but they keep pushing back the snapshots. They keep saying, okay, there's not going to be any snapshots in 2014. And so people said, okay, well, that probably means January. Nothing in January, nothing in February, nothing in March.
Yeah.
So I think they said last week or 2 weeks ago or something, they said no more snapshots for the rest of March. They said, quote unquote, we're withholding our gunpowder for a bigger boom, inviting some speculation. But still, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're losing their window.
Maybe they're making super creepers or super TNT or something.
It could be. That'd be cool.
I mean, I guess there's already there's like the electrified creeper.
The supercharged lightning creeper?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's kind of the same thing on a smaller scale, obviously, because Mojang's not Nintendo. But I don't know whether to believe them or not. You know, like, are they just... We haven't even seen anything from Mojang since Microsoft took over, really.
Yeah, it's been... I don't know. It's been enough to kind of revisit that age-old discussion of, is Minecraft dead? You know, is that not really something that people are going to be interested in anymore? Like, but now from the perspective of the developer, like, are they just not as invested in working on Minecraft as they used to be?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying by they're losing their window, because there's been so little put out that it gets those conversations going, or at least it makes you feel like that. Whereas that's really when they need to step up and say, hey, even though we were acquired by Microsoft, we're still the same kind of company. And it's just been radio silence.
Yeah.
I don't know. Makes me a little... Oh, also, did you guys see that, probably not, MC... Rhetorical question. Super MC Gamer tweeted, let's see, it was like March 12th or something, that he just received like the worst news he could have thought, and something about that it won't affect him and it won't affect any of his projects, but it will affect projects. And then a couple of days ago, B-Dubs put out a video, his Building with B-Dubs series, and he said something about bad news, like, you know, sometimes you hear something in your day and you can't let it get you down, and then he said, like, you guys will find out what the bad news is in the next episode. And MC Gamer said the same thing. He said you guys will know about it soon enough.
I hadn't heard about any of that, no.
Yeah, I looked for some conspiracy theory threads, but I couldn't find anything. So I started my own, except not a thread, on this podcast. I think the end of the physical MindCrack Minecraft server is coming.
Oh,
what do you guys think about that?
You think the vanilla MindCrack servers, they're just going to shut it down?
I think it's getting to that point, because if you've noticed, Doc and Etho and I think one other Minecracker that I can't think of right now has joined Hermitcraft.
Mm-hmm. I had
because
noticed
it's more active and honestly a better server.
Yeah. Yeah, that it honestly would not surprise me. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, the
same.
only Minecracker that I watched that is still putting out content from the Minecraft server is Vintage Beef, and lately I haven't even been watching his Minecraft episodes because I don't know, they haven't really been entertaining me. I don't know, I don't know what it is. It's some intangible thing about it, but it's like, I don't know, it's not
as dynamic or something. I was talking to Daughter about it the other day, and she said the exact same thing. She was like, yeah, I watch B-Dubs and Ginny and, I can't remember the other one she said, but she said, even though Beef's one of my favorite, I can't even hardly watch his Minecraft anymore because it's just not entertaining.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he still has other series that are entertaining.
Yeah. I've been enjoying, you know, his racing stuff with Kurt. I always love watching their F1 content.
Yeah.
And what was he playing? Oh, I absolutely love, what do they call it? The Life is Strange.
Oh yeah, that's a great game.
I just love the concept behind that game, and I think Beef does a great job playing it. You know, he plays it much the way that I would play it, I think. So yeah, that's a good source of entertainment. Yeah,
you guys should go watch that. That's another one of the games that's coming out episodically. So the first episode, which is like for Beef, it's like a congregation of like 8 episodes or something like that. I think it's actually 5. So he has 5 episodes on episode 1, and then episode 2 just started coming out. So it's actually a pretty easy one to pick up, but I thought it was really good too. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest to find that, you know, there's just not going to be any more MindCrack vanilla Minecraft server. That
Yeah.
wouldn't shock me in the slightest.
I mean,
Yeah,
who makes that decision, right? It's got to be Good, probably.
Well,
I would think so. I mean, I'm sure that he's still technical support on it. I'm sure it's still basically out of his pocket to pay for it. Hosting and whatnot. So I would have to think that ultimately the decision would come down to him. But I mean, you look at the entirety of the MindCrack community, and I mean, how many of them actually are on the MindCrack server on a regular basis? You know?
Right, and that's one of Good's one of the biggest proponents of that kind of thinking. You know, he always talks about MindCrack isn't a server. MindCrack is a group of people who can play any game they want.
yeah.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's my conspiracy theory. Take it or leave it.
I think I will take it.
Yeah.
I will take it and I will run with it.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I think, and not to mention, it seems like it's got to be something that has to end at some point, or else it's going to overstay its welcome. It already has a little bit, but I think some things are just better left alone, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So.
Well, that was depressing.
Yeah, well,
Nobody died in this episode of the podcast, though, so that's good.
While we were having that conversation, I was thinking about, like, I can't even remember the last time I played Minecraft, and, like, I was thinking about stuff like that. But then I just remembered something that, good news about, like, people still playing and stuff. I don't know if you guys watched it, but Neon Tiger just put out an awesome video. There were, like, 6 people from the Carnus Terra server that just did an ABBA caving.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just, like, really entertaining to watch. I've never seen... It was a 7-person ABBA caving, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen an ABBA that size before. I haven't watched the video yet, but it's on my queue.
It was quite entertaining. There were actually... I thought it was kind of funny that, like, I'm a member of the server, but, I mean, there are so many members of it. There was one person in their group that I had no idea who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another person that I've seen them in Skype, but I don't think I've ever seen them on the server, and I've definitely never heard them in a Skype call. So, yeah, that was interesting, because it was like, hey, I know that person, and I don't know who these persons
people are.
Yes, these people. But I mean, I'm like, they're on our server, so they're probably pretty cool.
See, that I'm gonna bridge this to my next topic a little bit,
Okay.
because what you're talking about is kind of the nostalgia of Minecraft that we've talked about ad nauseum for sure. I wanted to know. I'm gonna jump to my own question, not the question section, because I am a host of this podcast and I get to ask my own questions before you guys get to ask your questions. So deal with it. I want to know what your most addicting games that you've played are.
The most addicting games I've ever played.
Yeah. Because if you're like me, one of the best feelings you can have, at least in terms of video games, is that you are like thinking all day about playing this video game. You just want to play it all day, and then you come home and you play it basically all night, and then the next day you wake up and you go to school or work or whatever, and you're like, man, I want to play that game again. You play it again. To me, that's like the highlight of video gaming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, lately for me, it's been the modded Minecraft that I've been playing. That I sink as much time into it as I possibly can. I'm trying to think some games that I've been addicted to in the past. I played a lot of Super Mario 64.
That's old school.
I 100%ed that over and over again because I really enjoyed that game. So that's probably one of them.
That's funny. I don't think I was old enough to really get addicted to that. I think I was young enough to where my attention span was whatever. I can't figure this out. And then I quit that one. Now I think my answer would have to be Viva Pinata. As strange as it is, I can't remember if I've talked about Viva Pinata on this podcast before.
I
It is such a great addicting game. It's like you start out with your little tiny garden, and all of a sudden these little worms come into your garden. You're like, oh, look at these little cute worms, and they're black and white. And then you find out that these worms have become residents of your garden. Like, whoa, I've got worms! And
I hate it when that happens.
yeah, and then because the worms are there, you see these black and white birds fly through. You're like, oh, what are these birds doing here? How do I make them residents? And you look at it and you find out that the birds have to eat one of the worms, and then they do, and they're residents, and it just snowballs from there, and it's great, and there's like weeds that you have to dig up and all this other stuff. That game was so addicting to me.
I thought Viva Pinata was a game about pinatas.
Well, okay,
Well, and they are alive.
Pinatas.
Hence the Viva.
Yeah, the pinatas are the animals, technically. And they have different names. Like, my favorite one, or the one I can remember the most at least, is one time I saw this lion, and I don't think I ever figured out how to make it one of my residents, but it's a black and white lion, and it's called a Rorio, because they're all named after, like, candy. And, it was so cool. Apparently, if you made it your resident, so he turned to full color, he had this, like, giant rainbow mane, but I couldn't figure it out.
Oh.
I think I want to go play that right now. Okay, I'm done with the podcast, guys.
Bye!
Starting over in Viva Pinata.
Well, I play a lot of games, and I don't know what, like, it's hard for me to say what I've put the most into, because I play so many games, and there are some that I definitely, like, just, I play them and I'm done, and so they're not even near the top of the list, but I have a lot of games that, if it has multiplayer, I've usually played, like, Halo 3, Modern Warfare 2, both of them I put tons and tons of hours in. I'm pretty sure, though, Minecraft probably I've put more hours into than any other game. I've definitely played it over the longest period of time. Like, I played it pretty much straight for about a year and a half, 2 years. That's
a long time for you?
Yeah, for a game, that's quite a while.
I mean, yeah, because there's always new games coming out, and that's kind of like, I feel like usually I'm trying to play everything at once, and there was a period where, like, Minecraft was pretty much the only thing I played.
Yeah, so. I mean, to be fair, I only played Viva Pinata for like 3 weeks, so I was super addicted to it for those 3 weeks, but
yeah. So I can't think of anything else other than like I said, like Halo 3 multiplayer. Or just Halo 3 in general. I don't have the stats for how much I've played that. It's possible that is somewhere around the same level as Minecraft, but I kind of doubt it.
See, I find that interesting. I never got addicted to, I guess, like, Minecraft, yeah, but never any, like, real multiplayer games where I kind of put those in their own category, where you basically start it up and it's the same game every time, you know, like Halo or Call of Duty. The game obviously evolves differently depending on the match or whatever, but you're literally the same starting conditions as you were yesterday type deal.
Well, but I also, with Halo 3, I played the story mode a lot too, and I'm very disappointed with myself. I have all but one of the achievements in that game.
What? How did you not finish it?
That one achievement, because I got, like, my friends helped me with the DLC achievements and stuff that were really ridiculous, but there was one achievement from the original, like, before they had DLC achievements, from the original game. It's a multiplayer achievement. It's in the ranked free-for-all setting, which means you can't go in with friends and stuff, like, you're completely just set in a party with random people. You have to get 2 kills with this, like, giant laser weapon that has, like, a really slow charge, and then it just, like, fires a burst. And the reason that was so hard was because, like, it's free-for-all, so if anyone gets kind of near each other, they're usually killing each other. By the time you can charge it up, one of them's dead, or they're just not lined up perfectly, or whatever. And yeah, I never got that achievement, because by the time I was even going for achievements, really, I was a high enough rank that all the players I was playing with were pretty skilled that they could either avoid it or they would take out the other person first or whatever. Yeah.
So you're not going to go back to it or anything?
I mean, I would like to, but I don't know how. My theory is that since so few people are playing, I mean, there's still a lot of people playing it, but comparatively to a lot of other multiplayer games and, like, the newer Halos and stuff, there's probably only, like, a couple thousand people playing around the world instead of hundreds of thousands. So my theory is if I get me and my friends to all search for a match at the same exact time.
If you get enough people, it's the birthday, what's it called? The if you pull 367 people, 2 of them are 100% going to have the same birthdays.
Yeah.
You heard of that?
Yeah. It's called a birthday attack in the encryption world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a whole different thing to me.
The birthday attack.
It's a ridiculous
birthday attack.
You know what, Drew? You may have to do it with a cell phone because I don't think your computer could do it at this point. But that would be a great series. Like, hey man, it's Halo 3, I've gotten all but one achievement. Follow my 25 episode quest to get this single achievement. Just over and over and over.
Yeah, well, Halo 3 wasn't even on PC. It's only on Xbox 360, so...
Yeah, you'd have to get a capture card. I'm not here to work out the logistics. I'm just saying I'd watch it.
Okay. Well, I guess we're moving on to Assassin's Creed, because we're talking about other video game stuff.
We're moving on up, technically.
So I had said, a while back, that, well, we talked about all the bad reviews that Assassin's Creed Unity was getting and stuff. And I had said that at some point I was going to play it, because my brother got it with his Xbox One. And I finally played both Assassin's Creed Rogue and Assassin's Creed Unity, so both of the new ones. I haven't gotten that far in either of them. Like, I'm probably... I don't know how far I'm in the story of total, just like free roam time and stuff. I'm probably like 5 hours into Rogue and like 7 into Unity or something. But that's a lot of just like free roaming and getting collectibles and stuff. But Unity is better than I anticipated from all the bad reviews it was getting. There are a lot of things that are different from the previous games. They took out quite a bit of stuff and added quite a bit of new stuff. Some of it I can definitely see where they're trying to go with it, and it's just, it doesn't quite work yet. And so, like, the next generation of that game might improve it.
So they still have you on the hook, is what you're saying. They're still trying to reel you in, and you're still taking the bait.
After Assassin's Creed 3, I had said, I'm not buying any more Assassin's Creed.
Right.
And then 4 came out, and I held off on buying it for like a year. And then all my friends who were playing it were telling me how great it was. And I agree, 4 was amazing. And they really just, a lot of it was improving what they did in 3. Rogue is interesting, because it doesn't feel that new. It actually takes place between 3 and 4, which, this is a little confusing, but 4, in history, 4 takes place before 3. So it's after 4, but before 3. And it has characters from both of them.
Does not compute.
But, like, it's the same engine, and they didn't add a whole lot of new mechanics to the game. So, like, it's really just about playing it for the story. And like, it's a new map and everything. Well,
yeah, so it's pretty much a new map.
Yeah,
new story.
I don't know, I didn't go into it expecting it to be my favorite of the series. It was $40 off, that's why I got it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then, Unity, which I wasn't planning on buying at all, and I got it with my brother's Xbox. I don't know how I feel about the story so far, honestly. It's not the best, it's not the worst. There are some frustrating things that I've seen with some of the new mechanics that just either they don't quite work, or it's basically, instead of progressing through the story to get new gear, a lot of your new gear, you can get some new gear by progressing through the story, but a lot of the gear, it's just do missions around the city and then purchase it in an inventory thing. And so you could just save up and start buying like the best gear, and if you're just doing all the free roam side missions, you could have all the best gear before you even start the 3rd chapter of the game.
I don't know how I feel about that kind of...
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that system. And, like, there are certain things that it says, like, you can't use this until you unlock such and such a thing.
The next chapter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I find myself fighting myself against that kind of stuff sometimes. Like, sometimes I just want to go out and collect everything, or just get really OP in a game where I'm like, okay, I just want to smash through all these guys. And I'm like, well, if I do that, it's not going to be fun anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel myself constantly, like, in a push-pull battle of, no, just move on. But I don't want to move on. Just do it.
Okay.
Just me. Okay, that's cool.
One of the things, one of the things about Rogue that I really don't know if I hate it or I'm okay with it. The one like new thing that they added that I noticed, there are characters in the story mode that are called stalkers, and they blend in with the crowd. And I don't know, Snow, have you played Assassin's Creed multiplayer at all?
No, I have not.
Okay. Basically, they kind of put multiplayer into the story mode. It's not other players, but they're NPCs who like blend in with the crowd or like hide in a haystack or something like an assassin might. And if you use your eagle vision or whatever, you can when you get close to them, you can see them, and there's actually a little circle that will tell you there's one nearby, and it's in this general direction.
Is this not the same exact thing they did in Watch Dogs?
What do you mean?
When they made you do this multiplayer missions in Watch Dogs?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's not other players.
Right.
It's not...
but you can turn off like you don't have to play the game online. So I think you can. I don't know. I think this is a very similar thing. Whatever. I'm not going to start my Ubisoft tirade. So.
Yeah. Basically, they took the same mechanics that are in the wanted mode, or actually a lot of the game modes in multiplayer, where you're supposed to have like a certain target and track them down and assassinate them while avoiding people who are trying to assassinate you. And it's just like, I don't know how I feel about it. Most of the time, I can either avoid them or hunt them down easy enough. But there will be times when I'm just concentrating on like focusing on what I'm trying to do, and then randomly out of nowhere, someone stabs me and I go down to almost empty health.
Happens to me sometimes too.
Just in life.
Yeah. Almost empty health being the operative word.
Oh.
Haven't died yet.
The one other thing that annoys me, Unity brought back the, I think, did Assassin's Creed 2 not have health regeneration and you had to heal, like, with medicine or whatever? Or
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it regenerated once you were out of danger.
Combat? Yeah, okay. There was also medicine, and you could go to doctors and stuff to...
Yeah, there was for sure, but I don't think it was necessary.
Okay, well, Unity completely turned off health regeneration, and you have to take medicine to get your health back, which is pretty annoying.
I was gonna say, that's definitely split for me. Like, it seems really cool that it's taking away from the cliche game health regen stuff, but I also don't want to pop a medicine every time I want health.
They took so much out and replaced it with so much other stuff. Like, the parkour looks awesome. Like, it actually looks like a real free runner.
That's always been, the strong suit of Assassin's Creed for sure.
But there's stuff like, one of my favorite things about the older games is you could have your hidden blade equipped, and you could actually, like, walk around with it, like, sticking out if you wanted to, like, just holding the attack button, and it's just, like, down at your side, sticking out. You actually can't use your hidden blade unless you're right next to a target. A little thing will pop up and say, hit X to use hidden blade. Like, you can't just have it equipped. It's kind of... It only appears at certain times, basically, which I don't understand why they did that.
Maybe they didn't like the image of somebody running down the street with a hidden blade sticking out of their hand. Parents might not like that one.
But, yeah, there's just, I don't know. I feel like we probably talked about this enough, but there's a lot of pros and cons. I don't know.
That's good that it doesn't totally suck. I'll take that for what it's worth.
I will say I haven't even tried... Like, I haven't had a chance to play what the main point of Unity kind of was, which is having co-op. I haven't played co-op at all with anyone, because I don't know anyone who owns the game.
What system do you have it on?
Xbox One.
Dang it. Maybe someday. We can only dream.
Okay.
So dramatic.
Alright, well, I guess I'll talk about my last thing. This is just more of a mention. I should have mentioned this a long time ago. Lazer Team, the Rooster Teeth movie, finally released a trailer.
Wow. Well, that funded a long time ago. But I guess it takes a while to actually like produce. So
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
'cause-
especially if it's a 1 point whatever, however many $1 million movie it was.
It was over 2 million, I believe.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean they did the fundraising for it in June of last year, but then they didn't even start filming until the fall and everything. So, and it's coming out. I don't think they have an actual release date, but I think it's aimed for fall of this year or something. I don't remember. I could be completely wrong with that. But I will say that I shouldn't be surprised because it's Rooster Teeth, but just from the language in the trailer, like that they put out in their public trailer, it's like it's definitely going to be an R-rated movie.
Surprise.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been, but I was kind of hoping that for. Yeah,
Well, technically, according to the ratings, you're not allowed to say the F word more than once and keep it PG-13. So I'm pretty sure
Right.
it went to R pretty quickly.
Yeah. No, I know. Snow, what's this thing that you want to talk about?
I spent like the last 5 minutes trying to figure out how to transition that into City Skylines. It's a just like that. I did it. See, it's a new game
Amazing.
that's basically taken over what SimCity was. The best parts of SimCity, I guess, have been incorporated into City Skylines, and a ton of people are buying it. They said it's sold over 500,000 copies or something like that. It's a ridiculous amount, really, really fast. And I've actually been watching BWO play it. I think I'm 10 episodes in or something. It looks really, really cool. I think I'm about to buy it. But I don't know. Did you guys ever play SimCity? I'm
Nope.
sure you did, right?
Right, I played SimCity, like an old SimCity way back in the day, and I think I played a little of SimCity 2000, but nothing since then.
Let me see. Yeah, I was a huge fan of I think it was the really, really old SimCities. I don't even know. I was too young to realize how old it was. But this game looks really cool because you start from basically nothing. It's kind of in the same vein of what I was talking about with Viva Pinata, weirdly enough. I don't know, I really like the games where you start with nothing and then you slowly build up to this massive, organized structure that you step back for a second and you realize, holy cow, I just built this whole thing. But, yeah, it's getting a ton of praise. Let's see, it hit 500,000 copies sold, like I said, and everybody's just in love with this game right now. But I'd go check out BWO, or I know Quill18 has a series on it. Tons of people are playing it, so it looks really cool. I think I'm gonna buy it, maybe, and I'll probably give you guys a more in-depth review at some point.
Sounds
Cool.
good to me.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, you know what that silence means.
Is it time to question our existence?
It's question time, and I was
I
doing
thought-
some... Go ahead, Drew.
I thought I was going to get a guess. I was going to say, is it snack time?
It could be snack time, but my chips are sadly just barely out of reach.
It's nap time for me.
Oh, I wish. No. Just some quick calculation says that City Skylines broke 500,000 in 6 days. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, questions. Question letter A, subpart I, which is the only subpart of this question, comes from Sarah JMCB. She says, do you prefer physical or digital? And then in parentheses it says paper books versus ebooks, CDs versus MP3s, boxed video games versus downloads, etc. I think, let's see, I think the one that really strikes me is paper books versus ebooks as the biggest debate right now. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's the one spot where I think I still prefer physical over digital. Just because there's nothing quite like the feel of a book in your hands. But for the most part, I much prefer to have it in bits and bytes on a hard drive or somewhere rather than having to have a physical object to keep track of. You know, it's 2015. You know, we're living.
We
in
are the future.
Yeah. So
I have mixed feelings on this one. I feel well. Let me put it this way. I think I would actually most of the time go physical, except with CDs versus MP3s. I feel like CDs almost just aren't relevant anymore.
Here's 13 songs. Okay, thanks for that. That's literally 39 minutes.
Like, I can't remember the last CD I got, but when I got it, I immediately saved it on my computer, and I probably lost the disc somewhere. But I definitely prefer paper books. For video games, that's a hard one for me because normally I would say I like the physical ones better. I like just owning the box, and there's usually though. They've gotten worse about it, but there used to be like a manual inside that actually had like all sorts of information about the game and stuff.
That's true. They should include a digital manual with games, like a digital PDF with awesome artwork and stuff. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. But I mean, downloading can be convenient, especially with stuff like in the Nintendo store. There are a lot of games you can buy and download for newer devices that had been made for older games that I was looking into. So the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time, which came out in 2011, is almost impossible to find a physical version. On Amazon, they're like around $100 when the original release of the game was $40.
Wait, the 3DS version?
Yeah.
Dang, I was gonna say I've got the N64 version right here. I'll sell it to you for $90.
I actually have it for my GameCube, but
darn.
I was just because I just started playing Fire Emblem Awakening, and it's really good. And I'd never played that series before, but I like the characters from Smash Bros, so I decided to try it. Apparently the first one to come out in the US was on, I think it was on Game Boy Advanced. So I think the first one, and then there have been some on the GameCube and the original Wii. And most of them you can actually buy on the Wii U store. But once again, I looked up physical versions of the game. Like, I was just curious to see if I wanted to get the one that was for GameCube to actually play on my GameCube. Mm-hmm. And it's like $150.
Jeez. You could buy like 3 GameCubes for less than that.
And I own Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker for GameCube, and I wouldn't sell them, but even used versions of those games for GameCube are going for like $70 on Amazon.
That's crazy. Well, I think I'm gonna have to agree. I'm close to agreeing with Drew. Well, I don't know, actually. Oh. Okay, MP3s over CDs, definitely. I don't think that one's a question. I think
we should just delete that. It's not a question.
No, not a question. Your question has been rescinded. Paper books versus ebooks. I think I'm gonna go with ebooks. I don't know. I'm not as avid of a book reader as a lot of people are, so I think I've got to go with ebooks. Just for convenience, and like I can hook up my Kindle or whatever, my tablet, to the internet and Google words, how to define certain things I don't know. And you can highlight things without actually writing in the book. Not that I have any reason to highlight anything, but you can do it. So I think I'm gonna go with ebooks. I'm gonna go with ebooks, MP3s, and I'm 50-50 on box video game versus download, because I think download is obviously more flexible, like you talked about, Drew. I love opening a new game, like unwrapping it and everything. Yes. And you get the smell of a new game, and you open it, and the first time you touch the CD and take it out of the little holder or whatever, that's always great. But also, the downside to downloading games for me is having to manage your file size. That, it gets arduous sometimes. Like, I've got 150 gigs of games just sitting right here that I don't know. I have to decide when I'm gonna not ever play anymore. And I'm kind of a hoarder sometimes, so it's kind of not okay. But, I don't know. I think I'm slowly getting won over by downloads just because of flexibility.
Yeah, I actually forgot to mention some of the downsides for the games. For physical games, the main downside is that the disc can get messed up, and then you can't play it anymore.
That's true. That's why we all have Game Doctors sitting in our closets somewhere.
The digital version, though, so on my internet anyway, first of all, it takes forever for games to download. I don't remember if I told this story. It took almost 48 hours or something for Elder Scrolls Online to download and install, because it's like over 20 gigs.
How long did it take?
Around 48 hours.
Wow.
I don't remember. Didn't we record a podcast while it was downloading or something? I think we did. I think you're yeah, I want to play it, but it's still downloading. 3 days later, I'm playing it.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how that worked, but yeah. And then it was that was the biggest waste, $60 ever. No, no. Well, Watch Dogs I was able to sell back and get some money back, so we can't sell back a digital code.
We're so bitter on this podcast.
Yeah. But no, the other thing about the digital that's downside, well, one, storage space, like you said. I'm on a laptop and I'm just like constantly figuring out like, well, what am I not using anymore that I can delete? The other thing though is I just had a situation where my hard drive died and I lost not only will I have to re-download those games, but I also lost all my progress.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the worst when you lose your progress in a game. We had to replace our PS3 a few years ago, and I had already sunk, probably 24 hours into a Final Fantasy game that I lost and had to start over. I just got caught up relatively recently.
No.
And, after
Rest
having
in
the new
pieces.
PS3 for probably a year and a half, so
Yeah.
that's how long it takes.
For me, I don't play, like, other than, I guess, Minecraft World Saves. I wasn't even thinking about that. Other than Minecraft World Saves, most of the video game files on my computer are easily replaceable because I didn't have many, like, long games because I have such limited space. That it was just, like, little arcade games and stuff. The main thing for me, though, that I'm really sad about when my computer died was, I write stories and stuff, and just, like, years of work on, like, just, like, writing down characters and backgrounds and stuff, even, like, besides just the actual story itself. I have tons of background information that I write down, and that's just, well, it's not all gone. Some of it was saved on a backup drive from when I switched computers.
Like every third word is still there.
No, but everything from, like, the last year and a half is gone. So.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with digital.
Although it's partially my fault because I bought a backup drive last summer and I never actually used it. So.
All right, I think it's time that we've lamented enough. It's time to move on to question letter B subpart I, which is the only subpart and is asked by 1 Million Monkeys. He says, "Hey guys, I have this hypothetical scenario for you, but it's kind of weird. And let me warn you, it's a little weird. So if we don't want to answer, he understands. All right, I'm gonna tab this over here real quick just so I can see what the heck. Oh, I created more subparts. Anyway, I'm given 2 magic potions. The first one changes my gender, and the second restores me to my normal self. When I change, I am still much like myself as possible." I'm gonna read this in the person that
You changed person.
He wrote it in
this,
second
and you're
person.
having such a hard time.
Yeah, he says you a whole lot, and it made it really hard. I'm gonna start over. When you change, you are still as much like yourself as possible. Same hair and eye color, similar height and build, and still mentally you, but it is a complete gender swap. Each potion only has enough for 1 transformation. Would you ever use them? How long after drinking the first would you drink the second, or would you ever use the second one? Like I said, if you don't answer this, I won't be offended.
I'm trying to think of how to word this delicately.
Yeah.
My wife and I have discussed, funnily enough, the concept of if we were to each, like, wake up one day and we were magically the other gender, right? And what we would do in that circumstance, because it's a rare opportunity.
It's true. It's super rare.
I'll leave it to your imagination. What we discussed along those lines, but it has been a topic of conversation in the past. So, I would say yes, there would be a use of each potion, and it probably wouldn't be any more than 24 hours or so, I would say, between imbibing.
I have actually also had that conversation. Someone asked me, what would you do if you switched genders for a day? And honestly, I've been asked that question twice. I can't answer because other than certain bodily functions, I honestly, if my brain is the same, if I am still me, I do one of two things. If I didn't know what was happening, which in this scenario I would anyway because I took the potion. If I didn't know what was happening, I'd probably just freak out. If I did know what was going to happen, I can't imagine myself, like, if I still have the same brain, I would probably still just play video games. And, like, I just
Hey, be on the podcast in 2 weeks, people. Be the same. Drew, what's Drew?
Hi, I'm version? Andrea.
Oh, God, Andrea. Andrea.
No, I don't think I'd do it because, I mean, I'm really not that curious. Like I said, every time I was asked, I'm just like, I'd probably do the same stuff.
Well, I think I have the only plausible answer.
Oh, gosh.
I would for sure, 100%, keep both potions in my car. And if I got caught going a little too fast, I would drink it as quickly as possible so as to get out of my speeding ticket.
I really thought you were going somewhere else with that.
I like that idea, though. That's pretty good.
I thought you were going to use it on someone else.
And then, at that point, I would have to, well, that's true. That'd be interesting. I could just, like, throw it on somebody I hated. Be like, now you're a girl.
And then be like, I have the antidote. You have to do what I say or else I'll destroy it.
As a blackmail option. That's pretty funny.
That's pretty good, actually, yeah. And then I guess I'd have to make it up on the spot what I was going to do, how much time I had left in that day, and if I had to go to work the next day.
That'd be really funny if, like, you're like, you don't know how the potion works, and so it's like, you get pulled over and you real quick take the potion, and it actually, like, takes a couple of minutes for the transition to fully, like, work. So the officer walks up and you're like, your hair is slowly growing. And...
I think I had a problem. I had to get home as fast as I could.
That might be even more effective.
That probably would.
Yeah.
Just, you have to make sure, the scariest thing for me would be if you drank the first one, how carefully would you guard that second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be so terrified. I'd, like, lock it somewhere.
Then you forget
I don't even know if I'd lock
combination.
it somewhere. Yeah, what if I forgot how to get it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or like like you put it in a safety deposit box at the bank, and then you show up and they're like, no, you can't, no,
I'm pretty sure a man put this in here.
Yeah, you don't match the description of our client. Yeah.
That
do
terrifies
look a
me
lot
too
like
much to
him,
even
but-
drink it. What would happen if you drank them, if you mixed them together and drank them?
Oh,
I guess I don't want to know. It'd be like a Pegasus, but half man, half woman.
It'd probably be super painful.
Or not Pegasus. Yeah, it probably would.
You'd
probably
only,
be able to
only
make it
your
on
left
Oprah.
side would transform and it would be permanent.
Well, this is like this is kind of like the Matrix pill thing, except not. But like I've heard people say, like, well, what if you just took both?
What if you crushed them both up and snorted them both at the same time?
Wow. Yeah. That's...
Well,
Don't do drugs.
I think
that's
that
what we
just
learned
about
from this
answers your
podcast.
question, A Million Monkeys. We're so thankful for you for asking it. And it's Sarah JMCB for our other subpart letter I question A. But I think that scintillating conversation brings us to the end of the podcast, except for what Drew's about to say.
Yes. April 1st is also Rooster anniversary. So I think it's the 12th anniversary of Rooster Teeth? 13th?
Is this a
12th?
joke?
I think it's the 12th. No, that's the thing. They always say they don't post joke videos on April Fools because, like, so many other people do it, and for them, like, it's their anniversary, and they actually post, like, some really cool stuff. And, yeah.
What if we find out...
it's not a joke. They founded a company on April 1st.
What if we find out that the MindCrack server is being shut down on April 1st?
Yeah, that would be...
Poor timing would be the answer to that one.
Their joke is that everybody thinks it's a joke.
Maybe they were trying to, like, with all these tweets and bad news mentions and everything, maybe they were trying to drum up these conspiracy theories, and then they're going to announce it, and they're going to be like, ha, April Fools, which would be clearly the worst PR move ever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for listening, listenership.
And we won't be back in 2 weeks, or ever, because this is the last episode. Bye!
Bye!
Da-da.